So this is the post. So the entire wooden bit of the mill, if you're inside now, all turns around on top of the post at this point here. The post never moves, for everything you're in moves around it. Because when we operate the windmill, first thing obviously we need wind. We need a minimum, to mill flour, we need a minimum wind speed of 10 miles an hour, which is actually quite a stiff breeze. So today we wouldn't have enough wind to mill. Assuming we had enough wind, the next thing we've got to do is make sure that the sails are facing into the wind, because they don't work properly unless they're facing into the wind. So if we take today, the sails will be pointing that way and the wind is coming from over there. So that lever on the side of the big beam down there, that will lift the stairs just clear of the ground, and about 4 of us pushing on that beam will then push the entire wooden part of the windmill around. So the sails will be pointing that way, the stairs will be out there, and it all turns around on top of this post at this point here. And this is not roller bearings or anything like that up here. This is 2 metal plates with grease squeezed in between them. The post is probably supporting about 12 tons of timber and millstone. There's a bit of weight taken by wheels around the edge that stop the mill rocking, but the majority of the weight is supported on this post. Wow. Yeah. So it's not an easy job to push it round. A row of rugby prop forwards is really what you need. But assuming once you've got it facing into the wind, the final thing you need to do is put canvas on the sails. Normally the sails would have canvas on them. When it's not in use, it's reefed, which means it's wrapped round really tightly, so it looks like a big thick rope, so it won't catch the wind. But they've been doing some repair work recently, so there's no canvas there at the moment. But assuming there was canvas there, the first thing you need is someone who's tall enough to reach the nearest sail frame to the ground, and they'll pull it round so it's pointing directly down. And they come down to about there on me, they come really close to the ground when they're going round. There's hardly any clearance. If you look at them and follow the curve round, you can work it out yourselves as how close they come. But it does mean you can then untie the canvas and unravel it, and it will pull across like a curtain to cover the complete frame. So hopefully nobody has to climb up the sail to spread the canvas. Once you do the first one, obviously then the wind will bring the next sail frame round.
Oh, yeah.
And on that side of the mill, hanging down outside, there is a rope with a sort of triangular handle on the end of it. That can be lowered down to ground level, and that's attached to the main brake on the side, so you can stop each sail in turn to put the canvas on them. Yeah.
So how long's it actually been here then?
They started bringing it here in 1969.
Ah, right.
I mean, it was built about 1820, nobody's absolutely certain when it was, but it worked till 1874 when it was damaged in a storm. And then the world had moved on. They did these sort of mills were built to feed a local area when there was no means of transport than horse and cart. By the 1870s they got railways. In fact, Danzig Green has a railway station, so they could transport goods a lot easier than, so they didn't need a small local mill like this, so it was left to rot. And it rotted away for 95 years. I mean, there's some pictures of it just before it was brought here. It had been 95 years standing derelict in the field, and then a group of volunteers brought it over here, bought what they could anyway, and rebuilt it. So that's the sort of history of it. Anyway, once it's all up and running, you've got the sails facing into the wind and all merrily going around. You get sacks of wheat brought into the bottom of the mill down below, and they're attached onto this chain right down in the bottom of the mill. And the other end of this chain is attached to a beam in the top of the mill that can rotate. And when the miller pulls on this rope, it pulls the one end of that beam up so it connects with the big wheel being driven round by the sails. So it will pull the sacks of wheat up to the top of the mill by wind power through 3 trapdoors. This is the bottom one, and there's 2 more directly above. They only open upwards, so no problem standing on them. And as the sack goes through, they'll drop shut with a bang. So when the miller's heard a third bang, you'll know that the sack's got to the top and let go of the rope. If he's very lucky, he'll have an assistant up there, who'll take the sack off the chain. And there's a big wooden grain bin that the wheat's emptied into. And from there, it's fed down into a smaller hopper that feeds it into the centre of the millstones. they are located up above this wheel behind the post. That white patch you can see on the ceiling up there, that is the underside of the fixed millstone. That stone's called the bed stone, so it doesn't move. Above it you've got another stone called the runner stone, which is turned by a gear wheel off the main mill wheel as it goes round. So where those two stones face each other, they've got patterns cut into them. So as the top one rotates, those patterns interact with each other. And effectively what they do is pick up the wheat from the centre of the stones and push it out between the two stones, slicing it fine and fine all the time. By the time it falls out from the edge of the stones, it will fall out as flour. To give you a sense of how fine we're talking about, a single tiny grain of wheat produces about 20,000 particles of flour when it's milled through those stones. Wow. So it mills very fine, which is why if you go upstairs, you'll see that the millstones are enclosed in a circular wooden box so that no dust can escape, which you do not want flour dust floating around.
Very practical.
So, but inside that tub attached to the top stone are brushes. So as the flour is pushed out from the edge of the stones and the top stone rotates, it brushes the flour round and down into that spout there. And that is where you get your wholemeal flour. Wow. And that, in very simple terms, is how it all works. You're welcome to go upstairs. There are things to bang your heads on. My particular favourite, you want to go up and have a look?
Cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to slide all the way down.
I could be busy doing that. There you
go. Honestly, I swear, it's made my fishy pond. The amount of times I've dropped it down stairs and stuff and it's been absolutely fine.
This, yeah, that's the main wind shaft. Wow. That's what's connected to the sails. And obviously, it turns to be like a big gear wheel round, and that turns that gear wheel there that turns the top wheel stone. Well, it's really heavy when you have to push it round to get the sails into the wind. The wheel, the beam above it is the chain hoist that I was telling you about. The saddle. Oh, that's Oh yes, it is a working mill. It's not working at the moment. It's 200 years old and there's always something going wrong with it. Yeah. So 2019 was the last time we had a proper mill. I think we have given it a few turns since then, but we haven't stop making a mistake. You can only do that in advance, and of course you get to that day and there's not enough wind. So it's a hit and miss process. So you might say we are saving on a particular day on the website, but if there's no wind, we're not going to do anything.
So it's check the website, check the weather.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, this big turn that drive to turn the sieve to sieve the flour. But we've never had ours connected up with a little rhyme around the edge that talks about the keep it clean, keep it night, keep it clean. And during the last lockdown, the schools got into it, met a lot of the canvas anyway. Little horrors. Yes, they regard this as a party venue, really. And during lockdown, they don't have raves in there. They were, seriously.
I mean, scarily, that's something you'd have never have had. You
No.
have an extinguisher.
No.
God.
Yeah. Well, most mills were, the majority of them no mill. That's what the alarm bell is, that rope's electrical. So if there's insufficient weight of wheat going in, it allows that bell to rub against the gearcase and ring. So that's one sort of safety.
Yeah, good point. Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Feel free to have a look inside. Look, this is what they do.
I do like the balls at this still. But it was actually called this still.
Employed almost half of the town's population.
I like them
welcome to the first sort of, well, obviously it's the second video in July, but it's the first proper intro for, because I just kind of did POVs in the fun fair one. But I feel like I've stepped back in time, because actually another, sort of living museum. It's Avoncroft over here. It's not very far away from where I live, but it's yeah, it's sort of near to Drayton Manor, really. It's too far. About Drayton Manor, they've also announced their new coaster's opening day in a couple of weeks, so can't wait for that. Probably looking more like I'm going next month, but not next month, September. But yeah, so we're just upstairs in this sort of stable building, although there is like a living area at the bottom. I've just been in the windmill as well, so I've looked at the phone box area, but I'm going to go back there to film a bit from it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some more of this. I've kind of explored about half of it, but obviously I'll go back to some of the areas.
There was a thing that we're trying to start in London, and I don't know whether it's a success, but I haven't heard of it since. It was all, you know, it was like a sort of ibis. So it's easy to clean, isn't it? Oh, I see.
Can't get in there.
Yeah, John's still got a ration book.
I like a comic. Presenting Patsy. She's in.
It smells just like Alice in Wonderland in here.
And then talking with a little British accent. You know, it's like an American accent, it's down accent.
Oh no, because I've actually got an inside to it. Yeah, I'm not right.
The amount of places you can actually go inside, you wouldn't normally somewhere like this. think we found the missing apple. Yeah, if you know the history of Pleasure Beach, you'll know what I'm talking about, but I don't think many people are, but yeah, it looks like we found it.
Cross between Frank's side bottom. Through the heater. Plastic, that was for the fire. Oh, well, the little milk sugar. Apparently boiled water wasn't actually the worst. That was another big conflict. What's the book? Is it the Bible?
The tiny ones.
An egg good. It doesn't make any sense. Low hanging.
Wait, oh, we can go in this one. Feels like a posh hotel.
Baby, do you want to turn while he's out?
Can I go yet? Won't give us my mobile. Funny that, isn't it?
What's the number? What's the number of that one? You rang me.
That one's 365.
It's still fine.
365. 365. Oops, not ringing.
No, seriously, it's just something family to possibly then.
What? Give me a number. 364, wasn't it? 365. 365. Okay. So, ready? mobile from a landline. But they've gradually got to the idea. The what we call the Del Boy phone.
What do you get, some milk?
To dress him up as Colin Barker. Not surprised. Well, it got demolished anyway. Too nice. Oh. I'll see if we can do one anyway. Try and get both of them. Or at least build one. That wasn't very good. Yellow. Yeah, we're just going to have to put it there. Yellow. Well, I suppose I could have put that one in, but I don't think black. Okay. Blue. There we go. Got your costumes. To the outro. The I'm not even seeing what this looks like. Right. Oh, that's like a proper. Right. Right, this was the wrong go. Oh, that's not. They can shut the door as well. There we go. I mean, it does actually feel bigger on the inside, to be fair. Concrete, not wood. It's one of the original ones, the most accurate, from 1963. When they redesigned it, became wood, and that's just become more iconic. But yeah, concrete. It's not the original. The wooden one's that one, which looks completely different. And that is it for Avoncroft over here. This sort of, well, it's kind of a living museum, but it's not really advertised as that. It's more just historic buildings, just a collection of them. It's not quite as kind of immersive, I suppose, as the Black Country Museum, because it's not really like streets of buildings. There are like just a few. But what I love about this place is that everything's interactive. There's barely anywhere that's closed, but everything that's got items in it is open. You can see it all. A lot of the stuff you can actually go in and touch physically, like all there's stuff in the drawers you can go and see. And everywhere you're going to find something new every time, something really small. I haven't seen much about this place. I think Andy needs to come here, to be honest, because he seems to be branching out, going to places like this. Obviously, the highlight has been seeing the police box. That's just the classic thing, like recreating just then, obviously at the end of the video. But I've been wanting to do that all day, and I was trying to find a place for the camera to set up, really. So I just kind of set it up down there. But it's great to have seen one in person, like a proper metropolitan one made of concrete. And then you have got the wooden one, which looks quite different as well. You've got like different ones I've never really seen, like the police post, which is just but it looks like a post box but painted blue, and then obviously it's got the phone inside where you can call an emergency. But yeah, the internet phone boxes, which, well, they're just kind of reset to the museum's website, so there's not really, you've obviously got to type in the IP address, and then obviously a lot of the time it doesn't. It just says this is blocked, like you can't search Google and stuff because it's blocked. Because obviously it's only like the website for the actual museum that's linked on there, that it just like keeps resetting the page to that. So after a bit, after something's been blocked, it'll just go back to that. But it's really nice to see it, because obviously they weren't really around for that long. But it's quite sad in a way that obviously physical phone boxes, even like the slightly more modern ones, in a few years they'll just kind of be remembered just as in a sort of vintage way as the older ones. So yeah, that's really interesting part of that. So you've got this cafe in here, which I have been in, I haven't really filmed. It's got a nice exterior to it, and the interior's got some themed stuff like a doll's house. So that's nice. And so obviously, because it is a functional cafe, I didn't really film in it, but it is a lot like the Black Country Museum, where there's places you can buy drinks from. There's not like a fish and chip shop or anything here like there, but there is like the nice cafe. Then obviously you've got the buildings. I do love the building at the back. It's sort of like the medieval style music going on. It's like a sort of Tudor building. It's like a barn house in a way. But you've got like the living room with all the dining table, and then seeing the inside of the windmill as well. It's one of the only places that you can regularly see a windmill, because obviously a lot of the time you'll go to windmills, they'll be closed or they'll only be open on certain weekdays, and you know, it's hard, whereas here you can go and see it all the time. Show me at the model railway. They've got a model railway, and then one you can ride. It's all like raised up on stilts, which is unique, and there is no train actually on. It's only open on Tuesdays. Which is a shame, but I think it's because they actually get like engineers to come and run it, so that's probably why, because they can only get there on a certain day. But what I like is you've got like a raised up model railway, and then the raised up little like miniature train that you can ride, so you're like riding kind of a longer out and back layout, but it's kind of the first part you're going like parallel to the models and like through all the little model village. But it's just on a wider gauge track, so that actually looks really interesting. If I can, I'll come back to do that. That's pretty much it. It's you know, you've got the little museum with all the interactives as well that sort of gives you an introduction. Obviously I did that last, so I kind of did it in the wrong order. But yeah, really nice place. More people who were trying to do other attractions should come here. But next time you see me, I will be, I mean, there might be a Planet Coaster video before they haven't decided. Yes, Planet Coaster series might be ending this year. After all this, yeah, it might be over, but it's also exciting times. Obviously a gaming series won't be over, that's a hint. I think you probably know what I'm talking about, but yeah, it may be over this year, by the end of the year. So I might be saying farewell to the longest lasting series on my channel. I mean, the vlog series is the one with the most videos, but Planet Coaster is the one with the most views, the most popular, and also the one I've been doing for the longest period of time. It's just that they don't come out as often. Yeah, next time I do a video, well, next time I do a vlog, again, I might do the Planet Coaster. It'll be another Matlock Bath one with more show tapes of the Hard Luck Bears. But next time you actually see me do a vlog, it might be the next video. Finally, Gulliver's Milton Keynes. In just under a week, less than a week. Then I'm doing Wicksteed Park, then Billing Aquadrome. But Milton Keynes, finally. 3 coasters, technically 3 dark rides. You'll find out why next time. So many flat rides. They've got one of the coasters, a mine train, same as the one at Flamingo Land. You know how much I love that one at Flamingo Land, so I can't wait to ride that. And you've also got an indoor coaster, that's what I was saying about. It's technically another dark ride. So spoiler alert, because I did say I was going to give that away next week, but yeah, really looking forward to that. But for now, that's it from Avoncroft with this lovely butterfly that's just landed over there on the flower.